Welcome to Dur-A-Flex, and more importantly, welcome to a new format for training contractors on the successful methods of applying Dur-A-Flex resinous floor and wall systems. Truly successful floor or wall projects rely on the actual products that are designed for a specific application. However, even the best products applied incorrectly will not make for a project that people are willing to pay for. You are now about to watch the steps that are required to take Dur-A-Flex products through a successful application. If you should have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at www.duraflex.com or by calling 1-800-253-3539 to discuss specific details with your local Dur-A-Flex representative. Please remember, at Dur-A-Flex we truly believe that your success is key to our success.
Before starting any project, be sure to read the MSDS and application instructions located on www.duraflex.com. Always wear personal protective equipment. Dur A Wall VC is an epoxy vinyl chip wall system. The system components are a primer, Dur-A-Guard resin, Dur-A-Guard with no sag hardener, Dur-A-Glaze No. 4 resin, Dur-A-Glaze No. 4 with water clear hardener, and a urethane top coat. The equipment needed for this project is a 400 RPM drill, a 5-inch jiffler blade, a 3.5-inch jiffler blade, 1 and 2 gallon pails, pint, quart, and half-gallon pails, 3/8, half-inch, or 3/4-inch nap roller covers, roller poles, brushes, painters and duct tape, rags, cardboard, ladders, drop cloths, rubber gloves, and Durasolv. The labor for this application is 1 person mixing and edging, 1 person edging and spraying, and 1 person rolling. Before preparing masonry surfaces, determine the appearance of the final finish. For a smooth finish and to fill pores in the substrate, apply block filler as manufactured by Dulux ICI. The coverage rate per gallon for block filler is 50 square feet over rough masonry or 100 square feet per gallon over smooth masonry surfaces. The recoat time at 70 degrees is 12 hours. Drywall should be prepared to a level 4 or 5 paint ready finish. It is recommended to use Durabond 90 joint compound. The joint compound should be applied by a professional drywall installer. For priming drywall, it is recommended to use Gripper primer as manufactured by Glidden ICI. The coverage rate for Gripper is 300 to 450 square feet per gallon, and the recoat time at 70 degrees is 1 hour. In this application, we have wire molding attached to the wall. To ensure adequate adhesion of subsequent coats, we will be using topcoat epoxy primer. It is 1 part hardener to 2 parts resin and has a working time of 60 minutes at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Measure out 1 part of the hardener component and pour it into a separate mixing pail. Scrape the sides and bottom of the measuring container with a painter's stick and be sure to scrape the stick on the measuring pail, not on the mixing pail. Measure out 2 parts of the resin component and pour it into the center of the hardener. Scrape the sides and bottom in the same manner as the hardener. Mix thoroughly for 2 minutes. The wire molding seen here has been sanded and dusted off. We are applying a very thin coat of topcoat primer, about 3 to 4 mils thick. Allow the topcoat to cure for a minimum of 7 hours or a maximum of 32. The wall we are coating was previously primed, but it has been dusted, detergent cleaned, and allowed to dry. For the base coat, we will be using Dur-A-Guard epoxy with no sag hardener. When mixed, it has a working time of 20 minutes at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. For best results, select a color that best matches your chip selection. Pre-blend the resin with the 5-inch jiffler blade. Measure out 1 part of no sag hardener. Measure out 2 parts of Dur-A-Guard resin. Pour the hardener into the center of a mixing pail. Scrape the sides and bottom of the measuring container with a painter's stick and be sure to scrape the stick on the measuring pail, not on the mixing pail. Pour the resin component into the center of the hardener, being sure not to splash the sides of the pail. Scrape the sides and bottom in the same manner as the hardener. The size of your mixed batch will depend on your manpower. Here we are measuring a total volume of 3 quarts. Mix for 2 minutes using the 3.5-inch Jiffler blade. Pour out a small amount in separate mix pails for the edgers. Apply the Dur-A-Guard against the sealing edges or anywhere the roller can't reach. As you can see, we've used blue painter's tape to protect adjacent areas from splash. Before beginning rolling, remove as much lint as possible from the roller cover by rolling it up and down on tape. Pour the Dur-A-Guard into an 18-inch roller tray and wet out the roller. Apply the Dur-A-Guard at 200 square feet per gallon to yield a film thickness of 8 mils. Due to the uneven surface, we are using a 3/4 inch nap roller to ensure complete coverage. A coverage rate of 200 square feet per gallon will ensure there is enough Dur-A-Guard to accept the chip broadcast while avoiding runs and drips. We will be broadcasting using a Flake Tech hopper gun that is connected to an air compressor set at 20 to 30 psi. Remove the nozzle to achieve a wider spray pattern. Fill the hopper with chips, being sure to hold your hand in front of the sprayer to avoid spillage. Standing about 2 to 3 feet away from the wall, spray the chips into the wet epoxy using a circular pattern. The coverage rate for chips is 9 square feet per pound. A circular spray pattern will produce a more uniform finish as opposed to a square spray pattern, which will look more blotchy. Just like a floor system, be sure to leave a 4 to 5 foot wet edge away from the epoxy applicators. Don't forget to remove the tape while the epoxy is still wet. Allow the Dur-A-Guard to cure for a minimum of 8 hours. Once the epoxy has cured, remove loose vinyl chips by scraping the surface with a trowel, wallpaper brush, or medium grit sandpaper, as we're doing here. A stiff bristle nylon brush is also effective, especially on uneven surfaces. For the second broadcast, we will be applying Dur-A-Glaze No. 4 epoxy with water clear hardener. It also has a 2-to-1 mix ratio and has a working time of 30 minutes at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Measure out 1 part of the water clear hardener component in a measuring pail. Measure out 2 parts of the Dur-A-Glaze No. 4 resin component. Pour the hardener into the center of a mixing pail. Scrape the sides and bottom of the measuring container with a painter's stick, and be sure to scrape the stick on the measuring pail, not on the mixing pail. Pour the resin component into the center of the hardener, being sure not to splash the sides of the pail. Scrape the sides and bottom in the same manner as the hardener. Using the 3.5-inch Jiffler mixing blade, mix well for 2 minutes. Apply the Dur-A-Glaze No. 4 to the edges in the same manner as the Dur-A-Guard. Don't forget to delint the roller cover before starting. Pour the epoxy into the roller tray and wet out the roller. Begin applying the Dur-A-Glaze No. 4 in the same manner as the previous coat. The spread rate for this coat is the same as the previous coat, 200 square feet per gallon. Fill the hopper with chips and begin spraying in a circular pattern in the same manner as the base coat. Remember to keep a 4 to 5 foot wet edge away from the epoxy applicators. Again, the coverage rate is 9 square feet per pound. The minimum recoat time is 12 hours at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the epoxy is cured, sand or brush off the loose vinyl chips in the same manner as the base coat. The seal coat also uses Dur-A No. 4 epoxy resin. It is mixed and applied in the same exact manner as the previous coat, and the coverage rate stays the same at 200 square feet per gallon. Please note that it is critical to thoroughly de-lint the roller cover for this coat and the next coat to minimize lint in the top coats. Dur-A No. 4 resin with water clear hardener, again, has a cure time at 70 degrees Fahrenheit of 12 hours minimum and 24 hours maximum. Prior to applying our urethane top coat, sand off any imperfections or bumps using medium or heavy grit sandpaper. Sanding can be done by hand or by using a vibrating sander. There are two options for top coating a Dur A Wall VC system. They are EnviroTop urethane and ArmorTop urethane. Both urethanes will provide superior chemical and ultraviolet resistance. Call your local Dur-A-Flex sales representative or visit www.Dur-A-Flex.com. Check the chemical resistance chart to see which urethane meets your specific needs. For this application, we will be applying EnviroTop, a clear waterborne aliphatic urethane protective coating. EnviroTop was designed for Dur A Wall systems and offers maximum performance without the high VOC or odor concerns. EnviroTop is sold in kits. The coverage rate for a gloss kit is 350 to 400 square feet, and the coverage rate for a satin kit is 400 to 450 square feet. The pot life for each is 1 hour. We will be applying EnviroTop satin. Pour the resin component into a mixing pail. Thoroughly shake the low gloss additive to disperse the additives. Add the low gloss additive to the resin. Add the hardener component to the pail. Mix with a 3.5-inch jiffler blade for 1 minute. It is important to wait 5 minutes prior to using EnviroTop to allow air release and foam stabilization. As before, don't forget to thoroughly de-lint the roller cover to minimize lint in the top coat. Pour some EnviroTop into small containers and begin brushing in the edges. Pour the EnviroTop into an 18-inch roller tray and wet out the roller. EnviroTop satin is applied with the dip and roll method at 400 to 450 square feet per kit. Roll the material onto the wall at the proper spread rate and back roll the wall from top to bottom to achieve a uniform finish. The cure time for EnviroTop at 70 degrees is 12 hours. Thank you for watching Dur A Wall VC.